You've formed the perfect mental image. You're holding it with faith. But it feels static. It feels like a beautiful picture locked behind a glass wall. You have the blueprint, but how do you send it to the builder? What is the send button for the universe? The pain you feel right now is the pain of disconnection. Your thoughts, no matter how perfectly formed, seem to float in a vacuum, powerless to influence the material world around you. You visualize wealth, yet your bank account remains unchanged. You imagine perfect health, yet your body doesn't respond. You hold the image of your ideal relationship, yet you remain alone. This disconnection creates a gnawing doubt. Perhaps your mind has no real creative power after all. Perhaps you're just entertaining yourself with pleasant fantasies while the real world operates according to its own harsh laws. Most people believe that desire is the force that connects them to their goal. They think that if they want something badly enough, if they burn with enough passion, the universe will eventually yield. But Wallace D. Wattles taught a radically different principle. He discovered that desire alone actually increases your sense of separation from what you want. Desire can create impatience, frustration, and most destructively, it reinforces your awareness of lack. The more desperately you desire, the more acutely you feel the absence of what you're seeking. The true connecting force, the live wire that transmits your thought to what Wattles called the thinking stuff, is not desire at all. It is a very specific kind of gratitude. Not the polite social gratitude we've been taught since childhood, not the dutiful listing of blessings before bed, but a scientific, creative gratitude that operates as a fundamental law of the universe. The promise I make to you today is this. You will learn that gratitude is not a polite thank you after you receive. It is the scientific cause of receiving itself. Wallace D. Wattles was not a mystic lost in abstract philosophy. He was a pragmatic philosopher who treated wealth creation like a mathematical equation, with precise inputs yielding predictable outputs. He discovered that the universe operates according to exact laws, and the most powerful of these laws is what he called the law of gratitude. This law states that there is a creative substance from which all things are made, and this substance responds not to your needs, not to your desires, but to your gratitude. In this video, you will learn the Wattlesian law of gratitude in its full scientific precision. You will discover how to use this single feeling to bring your mind into such close harmony with the creative substance that your success becomes not just probable, but inevitable. You will understand why gratitude is the master key that unlocks the treasury of the infinite, and how to wield this key with the skill of a master craftsman. This is not about positive thinking or emotional manipulation. This is about aligning yourself with the fundamental creative principle of the universe. But here's what most people don't realize. They practice a weak, counterfeit version of gratitude that has no creative power whatsoever. In fact, most of what passes for gratitude in our world is actually a subtle form of lack consciousness in disguise. In Part 4, I will expose the 3 forms of false gratitude that you must avoid at all costs if you want to activate the true creative power of thankfulness. But first, if you're ready to discover this master key, I invite you to comment below with one thing you are truly, deeply grateful for right now. Not what you think you should be grateful for, but something that fills you with genuine thankfulness. Wattles' view of gratitude was revolutionary because he stripped it of all sentimentality and revealed it as a force of nature, as real and measurable as gravity or magnetism. In his scientific framework, gratitude is not an emotion you feel after receiving a gift. It is the active force that causes the gift to appear in the first place. It is the bridge between the formless thinking substance and the formed world of material reality. When you understand this, you realize that gratitude is not a response, it is a creative act of the highest order. The thinking substance, according to Wattles, is the primordial material from which all things are made. It is intelligent, it is alive, and most importantly, it is always seeking to express more life through every possible channel. This substance permeates all space, flows through every atom, and responds instantly to the impressions of thought placed upon it. But here's the crucial point that most people miss. This substance does not respond equally to all thoughts. It responds most powerfully to thoughts that are in harmony with its own nature. And what is the nature of this creative substance? It is the nature of increase, of growth, of the endless multiplication of life and good. The substance is biased toward expansion, toward the creation of more abundance, more beauty, more expression. This is why negative thoughts, thoughts of limitation and lack, create such weak impressions upon it. They are contrary to its fundamental nature. But gratitude, genuine gratitude, is the mental attitude that most perfectly aligns with the substance's drive toward increase. Think about what happens in your mind when you feel truly grateful. You are acknowledging that you have received something good. You are recognizing increase in your life. You are celebrating the presence of abundance rather than focusing on absence. This mental posture creates a harmonic resonance with the creative substance. Your grateful mind literally vibrates at the same frequency as the source of all supply. This is not metaphorical. This is the actual mechanism by which thought becomes thing. A grateful mind is always fixed upon the best. When you're grateful, you naturally think about what you have rather than what you lack. You focus on presence rather than absence. You celebrate increase rather than bemoan decrease. This mental orientation has a profound effect on your creative power. As Wattles stated with mathematical precision, the grateful mind is constantly fixed upon the best. Therefore, it tends to become the best. It takes the form or character of the best and will receive the best. This tendency to become what you appreciate is not just a psychological phenomenon. It is a fundamental law of creation. The thinking substance, being intelligent and responsive, naturally flows toward and through the grateful mind. Why? Because the grateful mind is the most open channel, the path of least resistance for the substance to express its nature of endless increase. When you are grateful, you become a magnet for more reasons to be grateful. But this is where most people make a fatal error. They wait to feel grateful until after they receive what they want. They say, "When I get the money, then I'll be grateful. When I find the relationship, then I'll feel thankful. When my health improves, then I'll appreciate life." This is completely backward. It's like saying, "When it gets warm, then I'll light the fire." Gratitude is not the effect of receiving, it is the cause. The act of gratitude creates a peculiar mental state that Wattles called harmonious relation with the formless intelligence. In this state, your mind is not separate from the creative substance. It is unified with it. You are not asking the universe for something from a position of separation. You are acknowledging your oneness with the source of all supply. This shift from separation to unity is the secret of all creative power. Consider how different this is from the common approach to manifestation. Most people try to force their will upon the universe. They visualize aggressively, they affirm desperately, they attempt to bend reality to their desires through sheer mental effort. But Wattles taught that creation is not about force, it's about harmony. And gratitude is the master tuning fork that brings your mind into perfect harmony with the infinite. The power of gratitude lies in its ability to dissolve the illusion of separation between you and your good. When you are truly grateful for something, even before it appears in physical form, you are acknowledging that it already exists in the spiritual realm. You are recognizing that the thinking substance has already said yes to your desire. This recognition is not wishful thinking. It is an acknowledgement of how creation actually works. Every physical thing you see around you existed first as a thought, an idea in the formless substance. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're watching this on, the room you're in, all existed in the realm of pure potentiality before they took physical form. Gratitude is the recognition that your desire has already been created in this realm of potentiality. Your job is not to create it, your job is to receive it. And reception happens through gratitude. This is why Wattles insisted that gratitude must be practiced as a science, not as a sentiment. You must be as precise with your gratitude as a chemist is with their formulas. You must understand the exact quality of gratitude that creates versus the superficial thankfulness that has no creative power. True creative gratitude has specific characteristics that distinguish it from mere politeness or positive thinking. First, creative gratitude is always directed toward the source, not just toward the gifts. You are not just grateful for things. You are grateful to the intelligent substance that provides all things. This creates a personal relationship between you and the infinite, a living connection through which supply can flow. Without this connection to the source, your gratitude has no creative power. Second, creative gratitude is felt in advance of physical manifestation. You don't wait to see your desire fulfilled before feeling grateful. You feel grateful the moment you form the clear mental image of what you want. This advanced gratitude is an act of faith so powerful that it literally compels the formless substance to take the shape of your desire. It is the highest form of creative expectancy. Imagine the thinking substance as a giant, perfectly tuned tuning fork, vibrating at the frequency of infinite supply and perfect growth. This cosmic tuning fork resonates with the pure tone of abundance, creativity, and endless increase. It never varies from this frequency. It never diminishes in its intensity. It is the unchanging standard of universal prosperity, the keynote of creation itself. Everything in the universe that expresses growth, abundance, and life is resonating in harmony with this master frequency. Now consider your own mind as another tuning fork, capable of vibrating at various frequencies depending on your dominant mental state. When you're in fear, your mental tuning fork vibrates chaotically, producing a harsh, discordant tone that cannot harmonize with the cosmic fork. When you're in doubt, your vibration is weak and wavering, unable to sustain a clear tone. When you're in a state of desperate desire, your frequency is sharp and aggressive, creating a dissonance that actually repels the very thing you're trying to attract. But when you enter a state of genuine gratitude, something remarkable happens. Your mental tuning fork begins to vibrate at exactly the same frequency as the cosmic fork. This is not a partial alignment or an approximation, it is a perfect harmonic resonance. The two frequencies merge into one powerful tone that ripples through the fabric of reality itself. This is what Wattles meant when he spoke of coming into harmonious relation with the formless intelligence. The physics of resonance teaches us something profound about how gratitude works. When two tuning forks of the same frequency are placed near each other and one is struck, the other will begin to vibrate without being touched. The sound waves from the first fork cause the second to resonate sympathetically. This is exactly what happens when your grateful mind comes into proximity with the thinking substance. The substance's vibration of infinite supply causes your mind to resonate with the same abundance. But the resonance works both ways. Just as the cosmic fork causes your grateful mind to vibrate with abundance, your grateful vibration sends waves back into the thinking substance. These waves carry the exact pattern of your desire, impressed upon them by your clear mental image. The substance, being intelligent and responsive, immediately begins to move in accordance with these impressions. It starts to flow into the shape of your desire, just as water flows into any mold presented to it. This is why impatience is so destructive to the creative process. Impatience is a vibration of lack, of not having, of separation from your desire. It creates a frequency that is completely out of phase with the cosmic fork. Instead of resonance, you create interference patterns that cancel out your creative power. The thinking substance cannot respond to contradictory vibrations. It cannot simultaneously create presence and absence, having and not having. Fear operates on the same principle of destructive interference. When you fear that your desire won't manifest, you're vibrating at the frequency of failure, of loss, of things going wrong. This frequency is the exact opposite of the cosmic fork's frequency of increase and growth. The two vibrations cancel each other out, leaving you in a creative vacuum where nothing can manifest. This is why so many people's attempts at manifestation fail. They're simultaneously creating and destroying with contradictory vibrations. Doubt is perhaps the most insidious destroyer of resonance. Doubt is not a clear frequency. It's a constant wavering between belief and disbelief, between connection and separation. Imagine trying to tune into a radio station while constantly moving the dial back and forth. You'd never get a clear signal. This is exactly what doubt does to your connection with the thinking substance. It prevents you from maintaining the sustained resonance necessary for manifestation. But gratitude, pure and sustained gratitude, creates a different phenomenon altogether. It produces what physicists call constructive interference, where two waves of the same frequency combine to create a wave of greater amplitude. Your grateful vibration combines with the substance's vibration of abundance to create a manifestation wave of tremendous power. This amplified wave has the force to rearrange matter, to orchestrate circumstances, to move through any obstacle to bring your desire into physical form. This is not mystical, this is mechanical. The universe operates according to precise laws, and the law of resonance is as reliable as the law of gravity. When you maintain the frequency of gratitude, you are not hoping the universe will respond. You are activating a mechanical process that must produce results. The thinking substance has no choice but to flow into the pattern held by a grateful mind, just as water has no choice but to flow downhill. The challenge for most people is maintaining this resonance consistently. It's easy to feel grateful for a few moments during meditation or visualization. But then life intrudes with its apparent problems and limitations, and the frequency of gratitude gives way to worry, frustration, or indifference. The resonance is broken, and the creative process stops. This is why Wattles emphasized that gratitude must become your default mental state, not just an occasional practice. Think of gratitude as the carrier wave upon which all your other thoughts must ride. In radio transmission, the carrier wave is the consistent frequency that carries the information signal. Without the carrier wave, the signal cannot travel. Similarly, without the consistent carrier wave of gratitude, your desires cannot travel from the realm of thought into the realm of physical reality. Gratitude is not just one thought among many. It is the medium through which all creative thought must move. This understanding transforms gratitude from a virtue into a technology. You're not being grateful because it's morally good, or because it makes you feel better, although these are beneficial side effects. You're being grateful because it is the only frequency that creates resonance with the source of all supply. It is the only vibration that can carry your thought impressions into the thinking substance with sufficient clarity and power to produce manifestation. The beauty of this system is its simplicity. You don't need to understand the complex mechanics of how the thinking substance transforms into physical matter. You don't need to know how synchronicities are orchestrated or how circumstances are arranged. You only need to maintain the frequency of gratitude, and the intelligence of the universe handles all the details. Your job is resonance. Creation is the universe's job. The cultivation of creative gratitude begins not with the things you can see and touch, but with your relationship to the invisible law that governs all manifestation. You must develop a profound appreciation for the very existence of the creative process itself. This is not gratitude for specific gifts, but gratitude for the gift-giving mechanism of the universe. You are learning to be thankful for the law that guarantees that every clear mental image, held in faith and gratitude, must inevitably take physical form. Consider the magnitude of what this means. There exists in the universe an intelligent, responsive substance that takes the shape of your thoughts. This substance doesn't judge your desires as worthy or unworthy. It doesn't require you to earn or deserve what you want. It simply responds to the impressions you make upon it, with the clarity of your vision and the power of your gratitude. The very existence of this law should fill you with an overwhelming sense of appreciation that most people never experience. Your gratitude must extend to the process itself, not just the outcomes. Every delay, every apparent obstacle, every twist in the path is part of the perfect unfolding of your desire into physical form. The thinking substance knows the shortest route between your current reality and your desired reality. Sometimes this route appears circuitous to your limited perception, but it is always the path of perfect unfoldment. Being grateful for the process means trusting the intelligence of the universe even when you cannot see the next step. This foundational gratitude creates a mental atmosphere in which specific manifestations can occur. Think of it as preparing the soil before planting seeds. If the soil of your mind is hard and dry with ingratitude, no seed of desire can take root. But when your mind is soft and fertile with appreciation for the creative law itself, every seed you plant will grow with remarkable speed and vitality. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly while others struggle. The difference is in the mental soil they've cultivated. You must also cultivate gratitude for your own creative power. Most people have been taught to see themselves as victims of circumstance, powerless to change their conditions, except through physical effort and struggle. But you are learning that you are a creative center in the universe, a point through which the infinite expresses itself. Your thoughts are not meaningless electrical impulses in your brain. They are creative forces that shape reality. This power, this dignity, this cosmic significance of your existence deserves your deepest gratitude. The source of all things, what Wattles called the formless intelligence, must become the primary object of your gratitude. This is not a distant, impersonal force, but a living presence that is closer to you than your own breath. It is the intelligence that beats your heart, that grows your hair, that digests your food without your conscious involvement. It is the same intelligence that creates worlds, that maintains the orbits of planets, that orchestrates the infinite complexity of life. Your gratitude creates a personal relationship with this intelligence. This relationship is not one of supplication, but of cooperation. You are not begging the universe for favors, you are working with it as a junior partner in creation. The formless intelligence wants to express more life through you. It wants to manifest your desires even more than you want them manifested. Your gratitude acknowledges this partnership and opens the channels through which the intelligence can work. Without this grateful acknowledgement, you remain closed to the very force that's trying to help you. The certainty of outcome must also be an object of your gratitude. This is perhaps the most powerful form of advanced gratitude, being thankful for the absolute certainty that your desire will manifest. Not hope, not probability, but certainty. When you understand the law of creation, you know that a clear mental image plus sustained gratitude equals inevitable manifestation. It's as certain as knowing that dropping an object will cause it to fall. This certainty deserves your profound appreciation. Most people approach manifestation with their fingers crossed, hoping it might work. This hopeful uncertainty creates a weak impression on the thinking substance. But when you're grateful for the certainty of the law, your impression is bold and clear. The substance responds to certainty with swift and precise action. Your gratitude for the guaranteed outcome actually accelerates the manifestation process because it eliminates all contradictory vibrations of doubt. You must learn to feel grateful for things that haven't appeared yet with the same intensity you would feel if they had already appeared. This requires a fundamental shift in how you relate to time and causation. In the realm of the formless intelligence, your desire is already complete. Time is just the process by which this completed desire moves from the spiritual realm into the physical realm. Your gratitude acknowledges the reality of your desire in the spiritual realm, which accelerates its appearance in the physical. This practice of advanced gratitude might seem like self-deception to the logical mind. How can you be grateful for something you don't have? But this question reveals a misunderstanding of how reality works. Everything you see in the physical world existed first in the spiritual world of thought and intention. Your gratitude is simply acknowledging the primary reality of your desire in thought, which is more real than physical matter because thought is the cause and matter is the effect. The quality of your foundational gratitude determines the speed and ease of your manifestations. Shallow, sporadic gratitude creates slow, uncertain results. But deep, consistent gratitude for the law, the source, and the certainty of outcome creates rapid, almost miraculous manifestations. This is not because the universe rewards good behavior, but because deep gratitude creates perfect resonance with the creative frequency of the universe. You must also cultivate gratitude for your current conditions, even if they're not what you ultimately desire. Your present circumstances, no matter how limiting they might appear, are the perfect starting point for where you want to go. They contain within them all the seeds of your future success. Being grateful for where you are while excited about where you're going creates the perfect mental condition for rapid transformation. This doesn't mean being complacent or satisfied with limitation. It means recognizing that your current situation is the raw material from which your desired situation will be built. A sculptor is grateful for the block of marble, even though it doesn't yet resemble the statue they envision. They know that within that rough block lies their masterpiece. Your current life is your block of marble, and your gratitude acknowledges the masterpiece it's about to become. The practice of foundational gratitude must become as natural as breathing. It should be the background music of your mental life, the constant hum of appreciation that underlies all your specific thoughts and desires. This is not something you do for a few minutes during meditation. It's a permanent reorientation of your mental stance toward life. You become a person who lives in gratitude the way a fish lives in water, completely immersed and sustained by it. When this foundational gratitude is established, specific manifestations become almost effortless. You don't have to struggle to feel grateful for individual desires, because you're already vibrating at the frequency of gratitude. Adding a specific desire to this foundation is like adding a new instrument to an orchestra that's already playing in perfect harmony. The new instrument naturally falls into rhythm with the existing music. This is the secret that separates masters of manifestation from those who struggle and fail. The masters don't try harder or visualize more intensely. They simply maintain a stronger foundation of gratitude. They've made appreciation their default mental state, their home frequency. From this base of gratitude, they can manifest anything they desire with remarkable ease because they're already in perfect resonance with the creative power of the universe. Your work now is to build this foundation systematically and deliberately. Every day, before you even begin to think about your specific desires, you must spend time in pure appreciation for the creative law itself. Thank the universe for the existence of the manifestation process. Thank the formless intelligence for its responsiveness to your thoughts. Thank the certainty of the law that guarantees your success. This foundational practice will transform you from someone who occasionally manifests to someone for whom manifestation is as natural as breathing. This mental preparation is not optional if you want to access the full creative power of gratitude. It's the difference between having a weak, intermittent connection to the source and having a strong, constant connection that can carry any amount of creative energy. The time you invest in building this foundation will be repaid 1,000-fold in the speed and ease of your manifestations. Fix your thought upon your desire with the precision of a master craftsman. Bring your clear mental image to the forefront of your consciousness, not as a vague wish or a fuzzy hope, but as a detailed, vivid reality. See every aspect of your desired outcome as if you were watching it on a high-definition screen in your mind. Notice the colors, the textures, the sounds associated with your fulfilled desire. This is not daydreaming. This is the first step in the scientific process of creation through gratitude. The mental image you hold must have a specific quality that distinguishes it from mere fantasy. You must see your desire as a finished, already existing reality in the spiritual plane. This is a crucial distinction that most people miss. You're not imagining something that might happen. You're perceiving something that has already happened in the realm of pure potentiality. The formless intelligence has already said yes to your desire the moment you conceived it clearly. Your mental image is not creating something new. It's recognizing something that already exists. This recognition requires a shift in your temporal perspective. Instead of looking forward to your desire from your current position in time, you must mentally position yourself in the future and look back at your desire as an accomplished fact. Imagine yourself a year from now, living fully in the reality of your fulfilled desire, and from that vantage point, look back at this moment. From that future perspective, your current visualization is not hoping for something to happen. It's remembering something that did happen. The clarity of your mental image directly determines the clarity of the impression you make upon the thinking substance. A vague desire produces a vague result, if any result at all. But a crystal-clear mental image produces a precise manifestation that matches your vision in every detail. This is why you must invest time in developing your mental image before you begin the gratitude process. You're creating the blueprint that the universe will follow in constructing your reality. Once your mental image is fixed and clear, you initiate the second step, connecting with gratitude. This is the moment of alchemical transformation, where thought becomes creative force. Let a wave of genuine, profound gratitude wash over you for the fact that this thing has been given to you. This is not pretending or positive thinking. This is acknowledging the truth of how creation works. In the spiritual realm, where all physical things originate, your desire is already complete. Your gratitude is simply recognizing this spiritual fact. The words you use at this moment are important, but not as important as the feeling behind them. Wattles suggested saying, "Thank you, Father, that this is mine," but the exact words matter less than the consciousness they represent. You're acknowledging a relationship with the source of all supply. You're recognizing that your desire has been granted by an intelligent, loving presence that wants you to have everything you want. The Father is not a distant deity, but the immediate presence of creative intelligence that surrounds and permeates you. Feel the calm, deep thankfulness of a desire already fulfilled. This is not the excited, anxious gratitude of hoping something good might happen. It's the settled, peaceful gratitude of knowing something good has already been accomplished. Think of how you feel when you've just completed a major achievement, that quiet satisfaction of a job well done. That's the quality of gratitude you must cultivate. Even though the physical manifestation hasn't appeared yet, you're grateful for the completion, not the possibility. This feeling must penetrate every cell of your being. It's not enough to think grateful thoughts. You must become gratitude itself. Your entire body should relax into this feeling of thankful completion. Your breathing should slow and deepen. Your muscles should release all tension. Your face should naturally form a gentle smile. This is the physical signature of true creative gratitude, and it sends a powerful signal to the thinking substance that you're ready to receive. The third step, sustaining the feeling, is where most people fail in their practice. They can generate a moment of gratitude during their visualization, but then they immediately return to their old frequency of doubt, fear, or indifference. This is like planting a seed and then immediately digging it up to see if it's growing. The sustained feeling of gratitude is what keeps your desire planted in the soil of the thinking substance, allowing it to grow roots and eventually break through into physical manifestation. Your work is to live in this feeling of gratitude as much as possible throughout your day. This doesn't mean walking around in a state of forced happiness or artificial positivity. It means maintaining a background awareness of the completed nature of your desire in the spiritual realm. As you go about your daily activities, let thankfulness be the background music of your day. Every thought, every action should be tinged with this quiet, happy thankfulness. This sustained gratitude requires a particular kind of mental discipline. Your mind will want to return to its old patterns of worry and doubt. You'll encounter situations that seem to contradict your vision. People will say things that challenge your faith. In these moments, you must consciously return to gratitude. Not as a denial of current conditions, but as an affirmation of the deeper reality you're creating. This is the work of manifestation, maintaining your frequency despite apparent contradictions. Think of this practice as mental gardening. A gardener doesn't plant seeds and then forget about them. They water them daily, protect them from pests, ensure they get adequate sunlight. Similarly, you must tend to your planted desire with daily doses of gratitude. Every morning, reconnect with your vision and feel grateful for its completion. Throughout the day, whenever your mind is idle, return to thankfulness. Every night before sleep, saturate yourself in appreciation for what's already yours in spirit. The post-technique phase is equally important. When you go about your day after your gratitude practice, you are not hoping for your desire. You are grateful for it. This subtle shift in mental posture makes all the difference. Hope implies uncertainty, distance, separation from your good, but gratitude implies possession, completion, unity with your good. You walk through your day as someone who has already received, not as someone who is waiting to receive. This is the highest form of faith, acting from the assumption of fulfillment rather than toward the hope of fulfillment. When you pay your bills, you're grateful for the abundance that's already yours. When you go to work, you're grateful for the success that's already accomplished. When you interact with others, you're grateful for the relationships that are already perfect in the spiritual realm. This is not delusion, It's alignment with the primary reality of thought that creates the secondary reality of physical experience. The power of this three-step formula lies in its simplicity and its scientific precision. You're not engaging in complex rituals or esoteric practices. You're simply aligning your mental frequency with the frequency of completed creation through the medium of gratitude. Fix your thought, connect with gratitude, sustain the feeling. These 3 steps, practiced with consistency and sincerity, will produce results that seem miraculous to those who don't understand the law. But you must practice this formula with the same precision you would use in following a chemical formula. Each step must be completed fully before moving to the next. The mental image must be clear before you add gratitude. The gratitude must be genuine before you attempt to sustain it. And the sustaining must be consistent, not sporadic. Any deviation from this formula weakens its creative power, just as any deviation from a chemical formula produces a different result. The beauty of this practice is that it becomes easier with repetition. At first, sustaining gratitude might feel like effort, but as you practice, gratitude becomes your natural state. You don't have to work to feel grateful. You have to work not to feel grateful. This is when manifestation becomes effortless, when miracles become commonplace, when the extraordinary becomes your ordinary experience. Remember, you're not trying to convince the universe to give you something. The universe has already given you everything in potential form. You're simply using gratitude to translate that potential into actuality. The 3-step formula is your translation device, converting the language of spirit into the language of matter. Master this formula, and you master the art of conscious creation. The first and most insidious form of false gratitude is what I call mechanical gratitude. And this is the trap that catches nearly everyone who begins this practice. You wake up in the morning and dutifully list the things you're grateful for: your health, your family, your job, the roof over your head. You say the words, perhaps even write them in a gratitude journal, but there's no feeling behind them. You're going through the motions like an actor reading lines without understanding their meaning. This mechanical recitation has absolutely no creative power. The thinking substance does not respond to your vocabulary. It responds to your vibration. Words are merely the vehicles for consciousness, but it's the consciousness itself that creates. When you practice mechanical gratitude, you're sending empty vehicles to the universe. It's like mailing empty envelopes and wondering why you never receive a response. The universe reads the energy behind your words, not the words themselves. And when that energy is flat, routine, and lifeless, the universe reflects back that same lifeless quality. Think about the difference between saying "I love you" as a habitual goodbye and saying it while looking deeply into someone's eyes, feeling the full weight of your affection. The words are identical, but the impact is completely different. The first is a social convention. The second is a transmission of actual force. Your gratitude must be the second kind, a transmission of genuine appreciative force that the universe cannot ignore. This requires presence, attention, and genuine feeling every single time you practice gratitude. Many people fall into mechanical gratitude because they've been told that gratitude journaling or daily affirmations will change their life. So they add it to their morning routine like brushing their teeth, something to check off their list before moving on with their day. But creative gratitude cannot be a checkbox activity. It must be a full-body, full-consciousness experience that shifts your entire vibrational state. If you're not feeling different after your gratitude practice, you're not really practicing gratitude at all. The danger of mechanical gratitude is that it creates a false sense of accomplishment. You think you're doing the work because you're saying the words, but you're actually reinforcing the very disconnection you're trying to overcome. Every time you practice gratitude without feeling, you're training yourself that gratitude is just words, just thoughts, just a mental exercise. You're actually weakening your ability to generate the genuine feeling that creates real change. To break free from mechanical gratitude, you must approach each gratitude session as if it were your first. Forget that you've ever been grateful before. Come to your practice with fresh eyes, as if you're discovering the miracle of existence for the very first time. When you say you're grateful for your health, Actually feel into your body, sense the miracle of your beating heart, the complexity of your breathing lungs, the intelligence that coordinates trillions of cells without your conscious involvement. Let yourself be amazed. Let yourself be moved. The second fatal mistake is what I call if-then gratitude, and this is perhaps the most common error among those who understand the law of attraction but haven't mastered it. This is the feeling of, I will be so grateful when my desire arrives. You're projecting your gratitude into the future, making it conditional upon receiving what you want. This is not gratitude at all, it's bargaining, and the universe doesn't respond to bargains. Then gratitude is actually a confession of present lack disguised as positive thinking. When you say, I'll be grateful when I have the money, you're actually affirming, I don't have the money now. When you think, I'll be thankful when my health improves, you're reinforcing my health is poor now. Every moment of conditional gratitude strengthens your awareness of what's missing rather than what's present. You're using the very tool meant to create abundance to reinforce scarcity. The universe responds to your present moment consciousness, not your future promises. The thinking substance reads your current vibration and reflects it back to you as your external conditions. When your current vibration is I don't have, the universe must respond with more not having. It doesn't matter how grateful you promise to be in the future. The creative process only responds to what you're being right now. Future gratitude has no more creative power than future money has purchasing power. This mistake is particularly tricky because it feels virtuous. You're not being negative or ungrateful. You're looking forward to being grateful. But this forward-looking stance keeps you perpetually separated from your good. It's like walking toward a horizon that keeps receding as you advance. No matter how much you achieve, your gratitude remains in the future, always conditional upon the next achievement, the next acquisition, the next improvement. The truth that shatters if-then. Gratitude is this: you must be grateful now for what you desire to have then. This isn't pretending, it's understanding the mechanics of creation. Gratitude is the cause, not the effect. It's the seed, not the fruit. You must plant the seed of gratitude now if you want to harvest the fruit of manifestation later. Waiting to be grateful until after you receive is like waiting to plant seeds until after the harvest. To correct this mistake, you must learn to generate the feeling of gratitude before any physical evidence appears. Feel grateful for your wealth while your bank account is empty. Feel grateful for your perfect health while your body shows symptoms. Feel grateful for your ideal relationship while you're alone. This isn't denial of current conditions, it's recognition of the spiritual reality that precedes physical manifestation. You're being grateful for what already exists in the realm of pure potentiality. The third form of false gratitude is competitive gratitude, and this is the most poisonous to your creative power. This is feeling grateful that you're better off than someone else. I'm grateful I'm not as poor as them. I'm thankful I don't have their problems. I appreciate that I'm more successful than my peers. This is not gratitude, it's comparison, and comparison immediately severs your connection to the creative source. Competitive gratitude springs from the competitive mind, which Wattles identified as the primary obstacle to accessing creative power. The competitive mind believes in scarcity, in limitation, in the idea that for you to have more, someone else must have less. This mindset is completely contrary to the nature of the thinking substance, which is infinite and capable of providing abundance for everyone simultaneously. When you're grateful by comparison, you're denying the infinite nature of supply. The universe doesn't grade on a curve. Your abundance doesn't come from someone else's lack. Your health doesn't depend on someone else's illness. Your success doesn't require someone else's failure. The thinking substance can make everyone wealthy, healthy, and successful simultaneously. In fact, it wants to do exactly that. But competitive gratitude blocks this universal abundance by insisting on separation and hierarchy. When you practice competitive gratitude, you're not connecting with the source of all supply. You're connecting with the ego's need for superiority. The ego thrives on comparison, on being special, on being better than. But the creative process doesn't recognize these ego distinctions. It only recognizes vibration, And the vibration of comparison, even favorable comparison, is a vibration of separation from the infinite source. Wallace D. Wattles delivered one of the most powerful statements in all of success literature when he wrote, "The whole process of mental adjustment and attunement can be summed up in one word: gratitude." Think about the magnitude of this claim. All the visualization techniques, all the affirmations, all the complex manifestation methods can be replaced by mastering this single force. Gratitude is not one tool among many. It is the master tool that makes all other tools work. But Wattles went even further with his next statement. It is impossible to exercise much power without gratitude, for it is gratitude that keeps you connected with power. Notice he didn't say gratitude helps you connect with power or makes it easier to connect. He said it keeps you connected. This implies that the connection already exists, that you are already wired into the infinite power source of the universe. Gratitude is simply the switch that keeps the current flowing. This understanding revolutionizes how you approach not just manifestation, but life itself. You don't need to learn complicated techniques to access universal power. You don't need special talents or abilities. You don't need to be worthy or deserving. You simply need to maintain the frequency of gratitude, and the power flows automatically. It's as simple and as mechanical as turning on a light switch. The electricity is always there. Gratitude completes the circuit. Here's a master's tip that will exponentially increase your creative power. Practice gratitude for the challenges and obstacles that appear in your path. This seems counterintuitive, but it's based on a profound understanding of how the universe works. Every obstacle is actually the universe rearranging itself to deliver your desire. What looks like a setback is often a setup for something better than you imagined. When you're grateful for obstacles, you transform them from barriers into doorways. Consider how a master sculptor sees a flaw in the marble. To an amateur, it's a problem that ruins their vision, but to the master, it's an opportunity to create something even more beautiful by working with the stone's natural characteristics. Your obstacles are the universe's way of creating something better than your original vision. When you're grateful for them, you cooperate with the universe's superior intelligence instead of fighting against it. Another powerful tip: practice what I call compound gratitude. Don't just be grateful for things, be grateful for your ability to be grateful. This creates a recursive loop that amplifies your creative power exponentially. When you're grateful for gratitude itself, you're acknowledging and strengthening the very faculty that connects you to infinite supply. It's like being grateful for your eyes, which makes you see more clearly, which gives you more to be grateful for, which improves your vision even further. The masters understand that gratitude must be practiced with the same discipline as a concert pianist practices scales. You don't wait for inspiration to be grateful. You practice gratitude until it becomes automatic. Set triggers throughout your day. Every time you walk through a doorway, generate a wave of gratitude. Every time you take a sip of water, feel grateful. Every time you see your reflection, appreciate your existence. These constant microdoses of gratitude keep you connected to power throughout the day. Here's a secret that Wattles understood but didn't explicitly state. Gratitude has a cumulative effect. Every moment of genuine gratitude adds to a reservoir of creative power that builds over time. This reservoir doesn't empty when you manifest something. It actually grows stronger with use. The more you create through gratitude, the easier creation becomes. You're not depleting a resource, you're strengthening a muscle. Most people practice gratitude reactively, responding to good things that happen. Masters practice gratitude proactively, causing good things to happen. They wake up grateful before they have any reason to be grateful. They go to sleep grateful, regardless of how the day went. They maintain gratitude as their base state, their home frequency. From this base, they can manifest anything because they're already in the creative flow. The temperature of your gratitude matters as much as its presence. Lukewarm gratitude produces lukewarm results. But white-hot gratitude, the kind that brings tears to your eyes and makes your heart swell, produces rapid and dramatic manifestations. Don't be satisfied with mild appreciation. Cultivate the kind of gratitude that overwhelms you, that makes you feel like you might burst with thankfulness. This intensity of feeling is what impresses the thinking substance most powerfully. A practical tip for maintaining gratitude: create what I call a gratitude anchor. Choose a physical object that you carry with you, perhaps a coin, a small stone, or a piece of jewelry. Every time you touch this object, flood yourself with gratitude. Over time, this object becomes charged with the frequency of gratitude. Then, in moments when you find it hard to feel grateful, simply touching your anchor will trigger the feeling automatically. Understand that gratitude is not just about feeling good or being positive. It's about aligning with the fundamental creative frequency of the universe. The universe is in a constant state of thanksgiving for its own existence, constantly celebrating its own creative power. When you're grateful, you're not adding something foreign to the universe, you're harmonizing with its natural state. You're swimming with the current instead of against it. The Master's approach to gratitude includes being grateful for what hasn't manifested yet. This isn't about being grateful for lack or delay. It's about understanding that the universe knows the perfect timing for your manifestation. Sometimes what you want needs other elements to align before it can appear. Being grateful for divine timing means trusting that your desire will manifest at the perfect moment, not a second too early or too late. Practice gratitude for your desires themselves. Be grateful that you have desires, that you want more from life, that you're not satisfied with limitation. Desire is the universe seeking to express more life through you. It's not a sign of lack or greed. It's a sign of your alignment with the fundamental nature of existence, which is growth and expansion. Your desires are sacred, and they deserve your gratitude. Here's an advanced technique. Practice future memory gratitude. Project yourself into the future after your desire has manifested, and remember this current moment with gratitude. From that future perspective, be grateful for the faith you're showing right now, for the gratitude you're practicing before seeing evidence. This creates a temporal loop that accelerates manifestation by collapsing the illusion of linear time. Modern neuroscience has revealed something that Wallace D. Wattles intuited over a century ago. Gratitude fundamentally rewires your brain for success and abundance. When you practice sustained gratitude, you're not just changing your mood, you're literally restructuring your neural pathways. Brain scans show that people who practice gratitude regularly have increased activity in the hypothalamus, the brain's control center that regulates essential bodily functions, and the ventral tegmental area, which produces dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with reward and pleasure. This neurological transformation isn't temporary or superficial. Studies have shown that just 8 weeks of consistent gratitude practice creates lasting changes in brain structure. The gray matter density increases in areas associated with emotional regulation, empathy, and decision-making. This means gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you think better, choose better, and create better. Your brain literally becomes optimized for recognizing opportunities and solving problems creatively. The release of dopamine triggered by gratitude creates what neuroscientists call a positive feedback loop. Dopamine not only makes you feel good, it also enhances your ability to learn and remember. When you're grateful, your brain becomes more receptive to new information, more capable of making connections, and more likely to notice resources and opportunities in your environment. This is why grateful people seem to be luckier. Their brains are primed to notice and capitalize on opportunities that others miss. Gratitude also triggers the release of serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood, sleep, and digestion. Low serotonin levels are associated with depression, anxiety, and a host of physical ailments. But when you practice gratitude, you're essentially giving yourself a natural dose of the same chemical that antidepressants are designed to increase. This isn't just about feeling happier, it's about creating the optimal brain chemistry for manifestation and success. Perhaps most importantly for your creative power, gratitude dramatically reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that wreaks havoc on your body and mind. Chronic stress, marked by elevated cortisol levels, literally shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. It also enlarges the amygdala, your brain's fear center, making you more reactive and less rational. But studies have shown that gratitude can reduce cortisol levels by up to 23%, reversing these damaging effects. When cortisol decreases, something remarkable happens to your creative faculties. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive center responsible for planning, decision-making, and complex thought, comes back online fully. Stress takes this part of your brain offline, which is why you can't think clearly when you're anxious. But gratitude restores full function to your prefrontal cortex, giving you access to your highest cognitive abilities. This is the neurological basis for what Wattles called coming into harmonious relation with the formless intelligence. The heart-brain connection revealed by modern science adds another dimension to our understanding of gratitude's power. The HeartMath Institute has discovered that feelings of appreciation create what they call heart coherence, a state where your heart rhythm patterns become smooth and ordered. This coherent heart rhythm sends signals to the brain that enhance cognitive function, emotional stability, and intuitive awareness. In other words, gratitude literally creates a physiological state that optimizes your entire system for success. Research has also shown that gratitude increases heart rate variability, HRV, a key marker of resilience and adaptability. High HRV is associated with better emotional regulation, improved decision-making, and greater overall health. People with high HRV are literally more adaptable to change, more resilient in the face of challenges, and more capable of maintaining emotional equilibrium. Gratitude is one of the most effective ways to increase HRV, essentially making you more evolutionarily fit for success. The neuroplasticity research is particularly fascinating when applied to manifestation. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you focus on. A principle neuroscientists sum up as neurons that fire together, wire together. When you consistently practice gratitude, you're training your brain to default to positive pattern recognition. You're literally rewiring your brain to automatically notice abundance rather than lack, opportunities rather than obstacles, solutions rather than problems. This rewiring extends to what neuroscientists call the reticular activating system, RAS, your brain's filtering mechanism that determines what information reaches your conscious awareness. Your RAS is constantly filtering the millions of bits of information your senses receive, only allowing through what it deems important. When you practice gratitude for your desires as already fulfilled, you're programming your RAS to notice everything that could help manifest those desires. Your brain becomes a seeking missile for opportunities aligned with your grateful vision. The mirror neuron system, discovered in the 1990s, provides another scientific validation of Wattles' teachings. Mirror neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing that action. They're the basis of empathy and learning. When you practice gratitude, your mirror neurons create a resonance with others who are in a similar state. This might explain why grateful people tend to attract other positive, successful people into their lives. Their brains are literally synchronized at a neurological level. Studies on neurogenesis, the birth of new brain cells, have shown that positive emotional states like gratitude actually promote the growth of new neurons, particularly in the hippocampus. This means gratitude doesn't just rewire existing neural pathways, it actually creates new brain cells that are born into an environment of appreciation and positivity. These new neurons are essentially programmed from birth for success and abundance. The impact of gratitude on the default mode network, DMN of the brain, is particularly relevant to manifestation. The DMN is active when your mind is at rest, and it's associated with self-referential thinking, imagination, and envisioning future scenarios. People who practice gratitude show different patterns of DMN activation, with increased connectivity between regions associated with positive self-reflection and future planning. In other words, gratitude optimizes your brain's ability to imagine and plan for positive futures. The psychoneuroimmunology research adds yet another layer of validation. This field studies the interaction between psychological processes, the nervous system, and the immune system. Studies have consistently shown that gratitude boosts immune function, reduces inflammation, and promotes healing. This isn't just about health. It's about creating a physical body that's capable of sustaining the energy required for manifestation. A healthy, vibrant body is a better conductor for creative energy than a stressed, inflamed one. The epigenetic implications of gratitude are perhaps the most profound. Epigenetics shows that our emotional states can actually influence which genes are expressed. Studies have found that practices like gratitude can upregulate genes associated with well-being and downregulate genes associated with inflammation and stress. This means gratitude doesn't just change your brain, it changes your genetic expression. You're literally switching on your success genes and switching off your limitation genes. Recent research on the gut-brain axis has revealed that gratitude even affects your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria in your digestive system that influence everything from mood to decision-making. Positive emotional states like gratitude promote the growth of beneficial bacteria that produce neurotransmitters and other compounds that enhance mental clarity and emotional well-being. Your entire biological system, from your genes to your gut bacteria, aligns to support your creative power when you practice gratitude. Consider the phenomenon of Oprah Winfrey, who has made gratitude not just a personal practice, but a public philosophy that she credits as fundamental to her unprecedented success. She didn't become grateful because she became successful. She became successful because she practiced gratitude even when she had nothing. Growing up in poverty, facing abuse and discrimination, she maintained what she calls an attitude of gratitude that transformed every obstacle into an opportunity. Her gratitude journal, which she's kept for decades, preceded her billions, not the other way around. This is not coincidence or correlation, this is causation. Oprah understood intuitively what Wattles taught explicitly. Gratitude is not a response to success, but the cause of it. She has often spoken about how gratitude shifted her entire life trajectory, how being thankful for small things opened the door to receiving great things. Her media empire, her influence, her wealth, all of it, she insists, grew from the fertile soil of gratitude. She didn't wait to be grateful until after she had her own show. She was grateful for every small opportunity that led to it. The pattern repeats itself across every field of extraordinary achievement. Jim Carrey, before he had any success in Hollywood, wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered and kept it in his wallet, feeling grateful for the success he knew was coming. He didn't hope for it or wish for it. He was grateful for it in advance. Within a few years, he was earning exactly that amount per film. His gratitude for future success created the magnetic pull that drew that success to him. Will Smith has spoken extensively about how gratitude has been the cornerstone of his success. He practices what he calls aggressive gratitude, actively seeking things to be thankful for in every situation, especially the challenging ones. He credits this practice with his ability to maintain success across multiple decades and multiple fields. For Smith, gratitude isn't just about feeling good. It's about maintaining the mental state that allows for continuous creation and reinvention. The archetype of the genuinely grateful and successful person reveals something profound about the nature of achievement. These people don't succeed despite their gratitude, taking time away from productive activities to practice appreciation. They succeed because of their gratitude, which creates the optimal mental and energetic state for achievement. Their gratitude makes them magnetic to opportunities, resources, and the right people at the right time. Tony Robbins, who has coached millions on success and achievement, begins every day with what he calls his priming routine, which centers on gratitude. He doesn't just think about what he's grateful for, he floods his entire nervous system with the feeling of appreciation. This isn't a luxury he affords himself because he's successful. It's the practice that maintains and expands his success. He often says, "When you're grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears." Look at the most successful entrepreneurs of our time, and you'll find gratitude at the core of their philosophy. Richard Branson speaks about gratitude as his secret to maintaining joy and creativity, despite the pressures of running multiple companies. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, attributes her billion-dollar success to maintaining a grateful mindset, even when facing constant rejection. These aren't people who stumbled upon gratitude after achieving success. They used gratitude as the vehicle to create their success. The evidence extends beyond individual success stories to entire cultures and organizations. Companies that cultivate cultures of appreciation consistently outperform those that don't. Studies have shown that employees who feel appreciated are more productive, more creative, and more loyal. This isn't just about morale. It's about creating an energetic environment where success becomes inevitable. Gratitude at the organizational level operates on the same principle as gratitude at the individual level. It creates resonance with abundance. Even in the world of sports, where physical training might seem paramount, gratitude emerges as a differentiating factor. Michael Jordan practiced gratitude for his abilities and opportunities throughout his career. Serena Williams has spoken about how gratitude helps her maintain perspective and power through both victories and defeats. These athletes understand that peak performance requires not just physical preparation, but the optimal mental state that gratitude provides. The social proof extends to the field of science and innovation. Many great inventors and discoverers have spoken about the role of gratitude in their breakthroughs. They were grateful for the mystery, grateful for the problem, grateful for the process of discovery itself. This gratitude kept them in a state of openness and curiosity that allowed for breakthrough insights. Innovation, it seems, flows more freely through a grateful mind than through a frustrated or desperate one. We have reached the summit of understanding, where all the threads of wisdom weave together into a single undeniable truth. Gratitude is not a passive virtue that makes you a nicer person. It is an active, creative force that shapes reality itself. You now possess knowledge that most people will live their entire lives without discovering. You understand that gratitude is the conductor that allows the electricity of your thought to flow into the universal substance and literally create your world. This is not philosophy. This is physics. This is not hope. This is law. The synthesis of everything you've learned reveals a profound simplicity hidden within apparent complexity. The universe, in all its infinite intelligence and power, responds to a single frequency above all others, the frequency of appreciation. When you truly grasp this, you realize that you've been given the master key to creation itself. Every door that seemed locked, every barrier that seemed insurmountable, every limitation that seemed permanent, all of them yield to the power of sustained scientific gratitude. You now understand that the thinking substance from which all things are made is not a distant, impersonal force, but an immediate, responsive presence that permeates every atom of your being. It is closer to you than your own breath, more intimate than your own thoughts. And this substance has a bias. It favors growth, expansion, and the increase of life. Your gratitude aligns you with this cosmic bias, making you a cooperative component in the universe's endless creative expression. The power you now wield is the same power that creates worlds, that maintains the orbits of planets, that orchestrates the infinite complexity of life. This is not an exaggeration or metaphor. This is the literal truth of your creative capacity. Through gratitude, you become a conscious participant in the same creative process that builds galaxies. Your desires, held in grateful expectancy, become commands to the formless intelligence, which immediately begins orchestrating their manifestation. But with this power comes a profound responsibility, not a burden, but an opportunity. You are now responsible for maintaining the frequency that keeps you connected to infinite supply. You can no longer claim ignorance about why things aren't working out. You can no longer blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck. You now know that your gratitude or lack thereof is the determining factor in what you experience. This knowledge is simultaneously liberating and demanding. Stop treating gratitude like a polite afterthought, a social nicety you perform when someone holds a door open for you. Stop relegating it to a few minutes of journaling in the morning or a quick prayer before meals. Recognize gratitude for what it truly is, the master key to the treasury of the infinite. You've been walking past unlimited wealth every day of your life, and the door has always been unlocked. Gratitude is simply the act of turning the handle and walking through. The shortest, surest, and most joyful path to the life you desire is to be truly grateful for it before you ever see a shred of physical evidence. This requires a complete reversal of how you've been taught to think. You've been conditioned to believe that seeing is believing, but the truth is exactly opposite. Believing is seeing. And the highest form of believing is being grateful for what you've believed into existence. When you're grateful in advance, you're not hoping or wishing. You're acknowledging what already exists in the realm of pure potentiality. The universe does not give to the deserving, it gives to the thankful. This is perhaps the most liberating truth you'll ever encounter. You don't have to earn your good. You don't have to deserve your desires. You don't have to be worthy of wealth, health, or happiness. The universe doesn't have a merit system or a judgment panel. It has a simple mechanical law. It gives to those who are grateful. The moment you generate genuine gratitude, you become eligible for everything you desire. Your new understanding transforms you from a beggar pleading with the universe to a co-creator working with it. You're not asking for favors, you're activating laws. You're not hoping for miracles, you're engineering them through the scientific application of gratitude. This shift in identity from supplicant to creator changes everything about how you approach life. You walk with a different posture, speak with a different authority, and act with a different confidence. The power of gratitude extends beyond personal manifestation to planetary transformation. When you maintain the frequency of gratitude, you become a broadcasting station for that frequency, influencing everyone and everything around you. Your gratitude creates ripples in the fabric of reality that extend far beyond what you can see or measure. You become a force for increase in the world, automatically and effortlessly lifting others into higher states of consciousness simply by maintaining your own grateful state. Consider what becomes possible when you fully embody this teaching. Financial abundance flows to you not as a reward for hard work, but as a natural consequence of grateful alignment. Health and vitality regenerate in your body, not through struggle, but through appreciation for the intelligence that maintains your physical form. Relationships harmonize not through manipulation or compromise, but through genuine gratitude for the people in your life. Every area of existence responds to the master key of gratitude. You are now equipped to live what I call the gratitude-first life, where appreciation precedes every action, every decision, every thought. This is not about positive thinking or forced optimism. This is about aligning with the fundamental creative frequency of the universe. When gratitude becomes your default setting, miracles become your normal experience. What others call luck, you'll know as law. What others call coincidence, you'll recognize as creation. I propose to you now the Gratitude First Challenge, a 7-day experiment that will prove beyond doubt the creative power of appreciation. For the next 7 days, every time you begin to visualize your desire, you must first spend 60 seconds in profound gratitude for the creative law itself. Not gratitude for your desire, not gratitude for what you have, but gratitude for the very existence of the law that makes manifestation possible. This is gratitude for the game itself, not just for winning the game. During these 60 seconds, let your appreciation encompass the magnificent truth that you live in a universe that responds to your thoughts. Feel the wonder that there exists an intelligent substance that takes the shape of your mental images. Marvel at the fact that you've been given the power to create your reality through the simple act of grateful thinking. This foundational gratitude will transform the quality and power of every visualization that follows it. You're not just practicing manifestation, you're celebrating the very possibility of manifestation. The goal of this challenge is to make thankfulness the cause of your practice, not the effect. Most people practice manifestation techniques hoping to eventually have something to be grateful for. But you're reversing this sequence. You're starting with gratitude and letting manifestation be the natural consequence. This is like planting a seed in fertile soil rather than barren ground. Your visualizations will take root more quickly and grow more powerfully when they're planted in the rich soil of appreciation. Watch what happens to the quality of your mental images when you precede them with genuine gratitude for the creative law. They become clearer, more vivid, more real. Your faith naturally increases because you're not trying to believe in your specific desire. You're acknowledging a law that always works. It's easier to believe that your desire will manifest when you first appreciate the law that guarantees all desires can manifest. This is the difference between hoping for a specific outcome and knowing you're working with universal principles. Notice how this practice affects your emotional state throughout the day. When you begin each visualization session with gratitude for the law itself, you carry that frequency with you after the session ends. You find yourself spontaneously grateful at random moments. You catch yourself appreciating things you previously took for granted. This is the compound effect of the gratitude first practice. It doesn't just enhance your visualization, it transforms your entire experience of life. I ask you to report back on the shift in both the power and quality of your visualizations after these 7 days. Document not just what you manifest, but how the practice of gratitude changes your relationship to the manifestation process itself. Notice whether your desires feel closer or more distant. Observe whether you feel more or less attached to outcomes. Pay attention to synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, and seemingly random events that align with your vision. These are all indicators that your gratitude is creating real change in the fabric of your reality. If you are ready to use the master key to creation, if you're prepared to stop hoping and start knowing, if you're willing to transform from a person who occasionally feels grateful to a person who lives in gratitude, then subscribe to the Master's Legacy. This is not just another channel about success or manifestation. This is a transmission of the deepest wisdom from those who discovered the laws that govern reality. The riches of the universe are waiting for your thanks. They always have been,